Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette and this is my channel Evolve with Monette. I am so happy to have you here sharing some energy with me today. I am a professional intuitive empath, an author, an artist, a chef, and an all-around life path 3. And now that we know each other, I want to jump right into the video today. I am going to be taking a quick look at Sagittarius for 2020. And for those of you that are new and have not ever seen my style of reading, I combine my energy with cards and we pull out what we get and we will see what will be revealed. I have some ideas of what's going to come up here as I have just posted a zodiac, a conjuncting zodiac, a zodiac astrology overview for your year as well. So I understand some of the themes. I'm excited to see how they present themselves when we pull into the card Sagittarius. Well, that's enough talking for now because we know you guys. Brevity for you too matters. I'm going to jump right in. Again, this is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we're going to just pray. Got my little Tibetan bowl here. Amen, amen. And we're going to just clear some energy. Angels, I ask that you guide me right now and help me to give to Sagittarius the information that they need for this year. I call in all angels. Michael, especially, I feel drawn to you right now. I ask that you come in and help me to elevate Sagittarius. Angel, and now I ask that you come in working with your magic, love, and power to help raise their vibration and fortify them through this year. And so it is. Amen. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's see. I will let you know, guys, there's a couple of really interesting Sagittarian things that happen. And I want to let you know also that I heard you guys calling me. And I mean that. I hear when people call me without ever picking up a phone. It's kind of crazy, but it is a thing that happens. And for a few days now, I've heard Sagittarius as being like, where is our reading? Like, why is this taking so long? I don't understand. I also had some very Sagittarian thing happen to me today. I had the weirdest thought about Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill, and I saw them in their bed having a conversation about like him waking up and looking at her and feeling like, oh, like frustrated. And then later I got home and I saw that there was a thing on TMZ and they had an altercation today. So I'm going to be making a video about that. You know, our sister, our good sis Nikki, is a Sagittarius, but she has an Aquarius rising. So there's some interesting stuff in her chart that I think we can all learn a lesson from regarding being a maverick or an individual. We'll break that down in another video, so stay tuned for that. I do not think it was a coincidence that I had this really random thought while I was just sitting there driving and thinking about them. So interesting stuff that came up with that. We'll see what's coming up for you guys. I work with several decks, guys. So let's get into it. 3 minutes in, let's get into it, I keep saying. That's what this year is going to feel like for you guys. A lot of not just stops and starts, but a lot of having to go over some things that have already happened. We're in it now. We're in it. So I'm working with my gold deck here. And for Sagittarius, I pulled out for you guys this bad deck. A bad in a good way. Badass, actually, is what I want to call it. It's Daughters of the Moon. It is super feminine, feminist, and has a fantastic energy. That's for my male Sagittarius. If you're watching too, you guys are respecters of persons in your own way. Well, also, there's a very Frank Sinatra energy with you guys too. Frank, he was a Sag, so was Jay-Z. So is Jay-Z. Frank was, Jay-Z is. I'm also going to be working with my traditional favorite huge deck that I love so much. So we're going to see what comes up for you guys. All right. Temperance, which is so funny because when I was flashing my huge deck, she shows up here on the bottom too. So this is definitely a lesson for you guys this year. Let's see what else comes up here. Ready to sail off to new, interesting places, ready to travel, ready to be part of a new life, ready to take your power back, ready to create a new space for yourself. We're going to go more in depth, guys. Don't worry. Don't be scared, y'all. I had a feeling this was going to come up for you. This is about bliss in domestic energy. Sagittarius is, you guys need a really long leash before you settle in and settle down. So this card is terrifying. I don't even remember what I named your zodiac overview, the astrology overview, but I do feel like it did have something to do with this, and you will hear some themes, so go check that out, or I will link it above here in the card. Okay, so let's see here. Pull out a couple more. I'm not done with you guys yet. Yeah, internal battles, conflict, exes, drama, all that right here. Let's get into that. More validation that you've grown weary with the emotional babysitting and you're ready to set off to new and distant lands here with the Fool. I'm going to pull one more. Wow, they're really having me run the deck for you today. And what do we got here? King of Cups. King of Cups. We're ready. We are ready to move on. All emotional stuff, y'all. Last one. Who's the merchant? Who's the beggar? This is really interesting. This is interesting. We're going to get into the Five of Pentacles. That's the last one out of... No, it's not. Sorry, guys. You guys are really like... We're just going to talk about it today, I guess. Ooh, Knight of Cups. This is going so well. We're just going to talk about it. The Lovers. We're going to get into it, y'all. And now, finally, Justice. Okay. Wow. That's a lot of cards, guys. I was not expecting it to go that deep. Usually I'll pull a few out of there. With Daughters of the Moon, let's take a look here to our feminist deck and let's see what comes out. It's hard here to hold them. This is a kind of cumbersome deck. Let's get into it. Or maybe it's this way. Let's see. Yamaya, the Moon. Well, this is all about these emotions that you're going to be dealing with this year. We're going to pull one out of Daughters of the Moon. We're going to pull one out of our major big deck. Mega stack steady warbucks over here. Oh, yes. That might be the thumbnail. I love this so much for you. And, oh my goodness, how could I forget my sweet, sweet Sages? There is one more thing that comes up. I love this deck so much. It is my Sacred Rebel deck. Now, this is not a deck like the regular tarot that you can just understand, memorize, and commit to your energy and memory. This is one that needs to be read, and you will enjoy it. Yes, I know you don't want it to be too long, Sag, but we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to read the definition because you will get so much meat. The magic of these cards, guys, is that what happens is during a reading, they will wrap it back up. So whatever we talk about here is going to be contained in this card. And this card, can't read it backwards, going beyond normal. I'd say that's you, Sag. You are the straw that stirs the drink in any place that you go. But now, let's get into it. Going beyond normal. Put that over there, and we'll get into this over here. Whew. Wow. A lot of energy for you guys. I'm going to lay out these cards that we've already picked. And we're going to get to a place of it. Okay. The first thing that comes up here for you, and that I'm feeling energetically, and I was listening to Billie Eilish to get ready, who is also your Sag sister, just in case you didn't know. It's time for love. That is truly the overview of this. Now, typically when we see the Lovers card, a lot of us assume it means automatic love. That's easy and guaranteed. My sweet Sages, there are no guarantees, and there is no love that's easy. Hello. There is no love that's easy. Love is to be worked for. And the magic of Sag is that you guys have a wonderful way of keeping things really light, really effervescent. There's this youthful energy that stays with you for the rest of your life. And I feel as though this year they're going to ask you to get into intimacy. And I'm not talking about a great booty call and some good sex, so you'll have plenty of that if you want it. What we're talking about is the part that makes you scared. We're talking about the shadow self. We're talking about what you feel, your emotions, and how you are understanding the world around you. When we're looking at the zodiac and we see our sun, moon, and rising, the moon card, or the moon card, excuse me, the moon in your zodiac, though I'm holding the card, is usually associated with how we feel. So this year, Sages, a great emphasis is going to be on how you feel. But the things that you're going to be feeling about are surrounding moving forward from the past and moving into a position of bliss. Love, 10 of Cups here for you. Abundance and domestic happiness. Domestic happiness is not something I would normally correlate with the Sagittarius, because while you guys can have happy homes, and those of you that are watching that are married Sages, you understand that. But please take personal inventory and be honest with yourself. Does your spouse need to keep their distance to keep you sane? Is your idea of a perfect marriage both of you living in separate tiny houses? Do you like it when you don't see somebody for a few days and then maybe you see them and then you don't? If so, you might be a Sag. So being close, like there are some couples that are all like cupcakey. Libras come to mind. Libra actually is a sign of coupledom in the zodiac, so I will be doing a video about that. But who else is really good at cupcaking and coupley stuff? Taurus is really like that too, because they like creature comforts and they like things that are like home. But Sages are like, whatever. And quite literally, I'm channeling my best friend who says that, whatever, whenever she is feeling like she needs to have some emotional space and she needs to distance herself. The push this year for you guys is to step into yourself, because you will be faced with opportunities to connect with somebody, and it's going to be a slow build. That's what I was just looking for the card here. This is about. This is what this is about. Knight of Cups is about feeling flirty. It's about, I'm feeling sexy. I can't sing that. That's not one of my gifts. That's not what I got. But I'm feeling sexy. It's Beyonce. Ride It All by Surfboard. That's more about Grown and Sexy Love Surfboard. I'm feeling sexy is about going out and the seduction and the attraction and pulling somebody into you. And that is what you will have this year. Raw, animal, sexual magnetism. But you will have to figure out a person that you want to channel it on. For the ladies here, who will be your King of Cups? For the men that are watching, who's going to be your shining star? Now, this is not a card that I pulled, but quite literally, when I flipped over my deck, it was sitting on top. And this is also about great sexy time, too. There's about a lot of things, guys. But in this reading, my interpretation is the connection to someone else, to the juicy energy of tapping into your divine feminine if you're a lady watching, or your divine powerful raw magnetism if you are a male. That animal magnetism. The challenge here comes as we get into the second part of the year, because it's right around May, June. That's the time frame when we have X's. I pity the fool. But this is about the weariness of emotionally babysitting someone and not wanting to replicate it. You guys have an opportunity to break past trauma bonds and to break past bondages regarding your relationship that have held you back. You've told yourself a story, I'm hearing for some of you, that you do not deserve love, and that you are not going to manifest it, and that it's hard for you, and that maybe even dating is hard. I think dating is hard is a thing we all tell ourselves, so I don't know if that's so specific, but it's very much like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I have this in me. I don't know if I can deal with the rejection. There is a way that you guys glide across water like ducks. You're able to attract people to you, and people think it's so effortless, but you're deeply, deeply, deeply afraid of being hurt. You're deeply afraid of living in any kind of imbalance. And that's why this Angel of Temperance shows up to say, we're going to balance things. We're going to balance the scales for you this year. We're going to make it so that you actually can dive into the waters of love and find that you are not going to be punished for the dive, but you will in fact be rewarded. But that does not come without its work. You know, the thing about Sagittarius is, though, what I have noticed is you guys are really hard workers. You have zero problem putting in a hard day's work. And I love the get up and go kind of like, well, it just has to be done. We're just going to do it. We're just going to walk through it. That attitude is very unique to Sagittarius is. Also, an attitude that is very much ascribed to and will be prominent this year is I hear Frank, I did it my way. I did it my way. Meaning you can have love, you can have the soul quenching travel and adventure and diversity and variety that a Sagittarius native craves, sun, moon, or rising, but you will have it on not just your terms where it's like, I'm totally selfish and I am not moving and I'm not yielding or compromising. No, balance in all things. Finally, your turn. But first, we're going to dredge up some stuff. Thought I was going to go month by month, but they just were like, nope, talk about the theme with you guys this year. So this is it. Middle of the year is showtime. That's a time frame when you're going to be selecting, manifesting, and really pulling into yourself what matters. And this is where this card comes up. It is so important for you to understand this. So when I saw this come up, I thought, oh my goodness, Knight of, Five of Pentacles. But essentially what this is dealing with, guys, is like this dark night of the soul energy that comes up for you guys, okay? So it's like challenges, or it's a low point in a relationship, or it's sometimes overcoming adversity, addiction, things of that nature, dealing with past memories, things of that nature, or anything that dealt with like victim mentality, things that were constraining, destructive, poverty too. So for some of my Sages here, this is about like you feeling like I am not getting a leg up. Why is this not working? And it's time to break those bonds. That's what this is about. This is your angel saying to you, this year, we're going to cause to dredge up to the surface some uncomfortable things. Think about when you've been on a lake and it's a calm day and it's clear and you can see straight down to the bottom, or if you've been in a Caribbean ocean and it's clear, and then a fish swims by and it gets stirred up and everything becomes cloudy and you think, oh man, I've lost my great view. Well, no, it will resettle, and then the picture or whatever you're looking at will reemerge with that much more clarity. They're saying in order to get to the other side of love and lovers, you have to cross over the bridge of dark night of the soul, because there's some stuck energy with you, Sages, where you have not been honest with yourself about the hangups and the holdbacks that has kept you from really deeper relationship. If you're married, deepening the relationship. If you're single, attracting. Heavy emphasis here for my single Sages though. Regular married Sages, I got some stuff for you too. It's coming. But my single Sages, this one's for you. I've been considering doing a separate love reading, but we'll talk about that. Comment below if you watch this and you're interested. Maybe that's something that I will add. Now, Dark Night of the Soul, followed by some conflict. The conflict here, the infighting here, is truly just that. Infighting. This is about where you are and who you are. This is not about you fighting your coworkers. This is not about all of that. If you want to understand your transits and what moons to watch out for and what our retrogrades are happening, go watch that video about the zodiac and the astrology reading. This is about you internalizing the fight, because there is a way in you to be fatalistic, and you guys can be so matter of fact and so cut somebody off, and your angels are going to stretch and push you this year, y'all. They're going to stretch and push you, and they're going to make you do work that is uncomfortable. They're going to make you love someone that isn't loving you back right. They're going to make you, and see, our angels don't make us do anything, so I want to clear that up. I'm speaking as a human here, and I'm just saying words, but I want to distill. Our angels, we have free will. But what they're saying is that there will be opportunities, that's how I'm being asked to say it, that arise, where you're loving someone and feeding energy into someone, and maybe what you want to get back from them, you're not really getting back. And you have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I okay with being in a relationship with somebody who's unavailable to me? Whew. They're all up in your business. I always say I'm not nosy, but my angels are. So they are saying that you're going to get a real kind of a rude awakening about what love is, but also it's going to cause you to reveal and see what the patterns are that you've been holding. The card that comes to my mind, though it's not here in the deck, is the Hangman. And this is about us purposely choosing an uncomfortable situation for greater enlightenment. And that is what is going to happen with you this year. Things that you think are happening and the way that you have been feeling like you were needed, you are going to soon know that it was a ruse, or that you may have been manipulated, and you're going to feel, oh my goodness, foolish. And this is quite literal and very basic here, so please, there's so much more nuance to this card. But it's not that I'm predicting or wishing for you to feel foolish, but they're saying that understanding when someone has maybe duped or gotten over is going to make you that much better at kind of like going forward and never having that happen again. And then also setting incredibly clear boundaries about what you want from the future. Now, this is one of my favorite lessons. When we have this kind of contrast, when we have this kind of conflict, what happens is we learn to create and manifest that much better. I always say and I was just saying that it was 20 minutes and 22 seconds. So check the timestamp when I just said that. That's about couples, y'all. Oh, I love when they do it. They do it every time. There's always magic in these videos, and it's not me. Trust me. But 222, that angel number, is about coupling and coupledom, hard work. All of the things we're talking about. So go look up that angel number. In fact, my angel said make a video about that angel number. Got it. Noted, guys. Remind me about that. There'll be a video coming soon about angel number 222. But what I'm saying to you is that we create from contrast. The experience that you will have this year, or the ex that comes back into your life, or the old feelings or whatever, even though there's crushes and there's things happening around you, they're saying you will learn something from this and you will never allow yourself to be in the same position again. We will eradicate that part of your life. It's almost like you've run that karma wheel. You've worked it out and you're ready to move forward. And this is fantastic because if you go to the astrology reading, you will see the second half of your year is all about this. I love it. Leaving on a jet plane. That's for my bestie. But for the rest of you, also leaving on a jet plane or a choo-choo train. Maybe we're leaving on a boat or a cruise ship. I don't know. But we're traveling. We're meeting new people. We're having interesting, juicy experiences. We're having sex with strangers. Yeah, that too. Condoms, guys. But we're having fun things if you're single, of course. You know, like, let's not do, yeah, single sexers. But you're going to have to first, they're taking me back. They said, talk about it. They've got to deal with their emotions. They've got to deal with it. So Sag, this not very fun thing for you is the thing that you're going to be focused on this year. But the reward, they're saying, middle of the year, uncomfortable. End of the year, a phenomenal specifically for your career. We are sitting on our throne at the end of the year. We are feeling self-actualized. We're feeling like we've conquered some issues regarding money, poverty, lack. We're feeling like we have actually jumped over a situation in our life that was holding us back, and we're feeling empowered in so many ways. That is the magic of this year for you, Sagittarius. And they say it ends this way, the way you would love it to end, as any fire sign would, with sunshine. And that is not like it ends with sunshine, cliche. No, this is about expansion. This is about growth. This is about new opportunities. This is about brilliant career. This is about a mantle of magnetism where people are noticing you and they're not even understanding why they're attracted. Oh, but they're attracted. They're attracted and they want a little bit more. And you get to decide how much. But you are the decision maker. You are the kingmaker. You are in charge of yourself in a way that feels so good. You know what some of your secret powers are. These are things that will be revealed as we go through this year. And it is assured to lead you to, by the end of the year, this state where you feel like for the first time in a long time, or maybe for some of you, the first time in your life, you are not as scared of love and you are actually choosing it. Everybody looks at this card and they always think, oh, that's cool. I want you to look at the action that's happening here. Not the angel above, but these two people extending their hands to one another, saying, I choose to walk this path with you. Love is not a given. It is not an automatic. It is a choice that you make a million times in any relationship. And that is one of the lessons that you will learn this year. Sweet Sagittarius. Now, let's finish up with our signifier, going beyond normal. And it is 14. So I've got my handy dandy book here. Hopefully my video doesn't cut off because this one got pretty long, but they were really just going into it. On the path of life, Sagittarius, there are deciding moments where we can choose to go with the mainstream or we can dare to take a bolder, more authentic and trusting way, even if it seems riskier or less safe. To rely solely on logic and science without incorporating the mysteries and the magical is a recipe for an existence that is far too dry for you, Sag. We like excitement. The sacred rebel within our hearts will always choose a juicier approach to life. How many times did I say juicy this time? I literally cannot make this stuff up. If you focus there, I think I'm pointing to the word juicier. I just can't even take it. It's so good. You are currently approaching such a point, a juicy point. I love it. It's less about choosing to honor either art or science, gardening or architecture, and more about integrating all approaches so that you can enhance rather than hinder your life journey. Placing science or architecture above all others kills off the rebellious heart. Steadfastly relying on logic, proof, and a complete set of plans to measure and dictate outcomes will suffocate your soul, Sagittarius. Basing decisions on limited factors with an imbalanced measure of success is unnecessarily limiting. This approach prevents us from living freely, spontaneously, with trust so that we can rebel against the need for things to go strictly according to plan. Choose to value decisions based on passion and instinct and trust in life enough to embrace it as an adventure. Let it unfold as it will. There is a time and place for logic, strategy, planning, and measurable outcomes. These are not bad tools to have, but we must be vigilant not to worship them or allow them to quash our less rational but equally valuable decision-making tools. Here's the deal, Sages. I wanted to just interject this. You guys can take flights at fancy, but you guys have that tendency to worry. You're very self-analytical, but also to me, it feels like if life isn't moving exactly the way you want it to, you think, well, I need it to be this way, and I certainly can't do this without that. And there is a greater fire, passion, and magic in you. So they're saying, like, don't quell that. Like, lean in to that energy for yourself. It's time to flow. And they said their intuition, feelings, and those things you know without knowing them, let that flow. The inspirational energy of the heart may have no conceivable basis in logic or reason, and still it can is uncannily accurate. It can be uncannily accurate. To remain rebellious, we must not sacrifice the art of emotion, instinct, passion, and intuition for the science of logic and strict planning. On the other hand, gardening and art provide us with a plan, albeit more loosely held. This plan still requires us to set aside time to draw upon reliable methods, and to prepare with certain tools. However, there is also a healthy dose of organic flow and responsiveness and trust in the creative process bringing something to life. This leads to cultivation and most beautifully and an abundant, successful garden in the most vivid, healing heart. You're being asked, Sagittarius, to stay open to the intuitive approach in your life work, your creativity, as well as your spiritual journey. The intuitive approach can be likened to a method of the gardener or the artist. There is a sense of what might work where and where to lose or relinquish energy, or how a certain plan is carried out. But they're saying there is no need to control the situation. I think this speaks directly to love with you guys, because you guys don't like to be hurt, you don't like to feel foolish, and so you want to control it. In order to manifest the love that's right for you, you take those chances. And Sagittarius, I'm sweating as I'm doing this reading, girl. This is all passion, energy, and good sex. You got to take these chances. You may have pressures around you from the world or your own conditioned nature to do things according to the rules or a deadline. However, sometimes the best plan is to do what feels intuitively truthful in the moment and to trust that you are being led towards your own growth. Adopting this approach means you have to do far less planning and far more living. It is pure heart-centered way to manifest your art, life path, your travel, your career, your essence into practical expression in the world. It involves a willingness to be led by nature instead of trying to control the powerful force, which is a bit like trying to fit a proverbial ocean into a teacup. A Caribbean ocean. It is far more intelligent to allow the ocean to be the ocean and to learn to swim in it rather than trying to cram it into a vessel that is much too small. This oracle brings you to a special piece of guidance. You are moving outside of the plan. You're living on the border of what is socially accepted, and this is good, Sag. You stir the drink. You are the straw. Others might not see this about you straight away. They might not understand your fringe-dwelling freedom. you seem pretty normal, but there's a secret. There's there's a secret eccentricity streak that's waiting to show itself, and maybe your out and proud fringe dweller self can come out now, completely comfortable with its way of being. Either way, this oracle brings you the message that you now have a chance to live from the heart and more deeply and expressively than ever before. It wants you to realize that this is a legitimate, empowered, and creative way to live that honors all of who you are. You can give up forcing or squashing yourself down into a very limited set of so-called desirable qualities like intellect and control. This oracle brings you the further message that you are going to be breaking with tradition. Perhaps not entirely, Sag, but at least in a way that is meaningful to you. This will require you to have courage in your convictions and faith in your heart and its truths. This will help you to inspire others around you to step out of fear and live more freely and lovingly. You are not necessarily meant to abandon logic and intellect altogether. You are to use them to serve the desires of the heart rather than to replace its naturally spontaneous and truthful nature with a controlled planning and narrow strategy. It's time to get a bit wild, Sag, and let nature take its course. Y'all, whew, like I need a cold shower, and I like the sex you guys are going to have this year. Let nature take its course. Lean into your primal energy. Deal with the little hiccup in the middle of the year. The rest, the second half of the year is so phenomenal for you in a way that I can't really just, I mean, if I haven't articulated it yet, I don't know what to say. You guys are coming into yourself in a real way this year, and it's going to be freeing, and you're going to be an inspiration to others. You won't have to teach a class. You'll live your class. You are the curriculum. You are the student and the teacher. I'm so glad that we had a chance, Sag, to share some energy today. I love, love, love you guys. Please come back. Share some energy, your insights. Tell me about your travel plans, and we'll continue to evolve together.